Great, we'll bow in and then get started. Hey, Yes, so just start with loosening the body up. Just on the vertical. Just let everything be loose. Just move the whole body. Play a little bit with the arms. Loosen the shoulders up a little bit. A little bit with the head. And take a few nice deep breaths, in and out. Start to settle the feet down. I'm just working with a kind of pulse through the body. Just let a few people in. Good. Yeah. Let that down. Okay, good. Keep moving. Good. Okay. And just go to slight rotation. So just down to the hips. And just let the arms go. So you can imagine a kind of spiral all the way through the center of the body, just as if you're kind of screwing it into the ground. All the time keeping the connection, the feeling down. So. Good. Okay. And we'll work on this next, the other swing. So you've got this vertical swing that we've been doing in the past, and then you've got this other swing we did this morning. The other one you can do is this kind of arcing movement across. So it's very similar to this one, but it's much more active in the hands now. So I want you to widen the hands at the shoulders. Yeah, and then just let the hips sink. Again, focus on a spiral, and let one hand go to the shoulder, one hand to the lower back. And just at first, you just feel the connection. Do it in a kind of static way. Down, open. Down, reach the shoulder, open it out. Do it in a kind of basic way. Just so you can focus on the spiral again, going from the hips out to the hand. And then release that from the hips out to the hands. And just see that as much as you can, see if you can pass the movement all the way from the hip through the body out to the hip, out to the hand. So from the hip to the hand. And just do it where you can kind of feel the heaviness of the body. Just do a few. Nice basic. And so. And just see as you finish the movement, go to this position and just really again feel the body's draining down. It's sinking into the ground at this point. So it's like Now at this point, the hands are very loose, just resting on the shoulder, but the main feeling is like the weight of the body draining down, 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 down. And then release it and go to the other side. Again, just feel the kind of heaviness all the time. That's it. That's it. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Good, and most of you have gone here automatically, which is good. So just go to now, taking it one side, taking it to the other. That's a lot more flexible. So the problem now you might find is that it goes to like a frontal movement. So all the movement goes to the hand, the front hand, that goes to the shoulder. Really focus a little bit more on the back hand as well. So what's happening at the back hip? What's happening here is also really important. So really feel that you can unlock the movement to the back. And again, let the whole body drain down. 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 That's it. And you want always this feeling like you're spiraling into the ground. Down, down, down. This can be really useful later. We're going to go into a little bit of Shimanagi work, a little bit of the Temi work. This kind of idea of spiraling into the ground. spiraling through the ground. Very, very useful. That's it. Great. Nice, nice, nice. And this is the same, but just a bit more freestyle. You're going to go from this position now. And I just want you to send the hand out. But we've done this before. For those of you who have not done this before, just focus on getting the hip, connecting it to the hand. And then I just want to shoot it out. And it's just going to go to the body. I keep everything else very loose. So it's a bit like you've got like a gunslinger stance. It's like, and everything goes from the hip. So the hand's like shot from the hip and then back, shot from the hip and back. And I want a bit more dynamic in the arm as well. So dun, dun, dun. It's got a bit more power to it. Even though it's totally loose, or as loose as I can get it. There, there, there. And really have the feeling, if you kind of struggle with this a little bit, you can't really catch the feeling. Get the sense that you kind of draw the hip back, draw it back, draw the hand back, and then fire it. It's a bit like drawing a bow. Draw, fire it. Draw, fire it. Draw, fire it. Just play with both sides. It's much more freestyle now, so just play with the connection. Do different things with it. And you can also send the hand to different places, so you don't always have to go to the shoulder. That's it. And it's just about connecting the hips to the hands, or the hands to the hips. Depends which way you want to look at it. There we go. Very nice. And again, we'll just do one more minute with this. Just really feel that you can get the lower body to do the movement. This is quite easy to do with the upper body. But in a way, what I want for my Aikido is like lower body hip generated power. So see if you can really get it in a sense that the lower body is the driver for it, which means the upper body is not actually twisting out of it at all. So it's not going to twist out of structure. It's going to stay in the structure as it goes. And that's when it's going to give me my heaviness, because I'm basically still in my base and I'm not coming out of the base. I'm holding the body in tension. So just see if you can get this feeling of like draining down, down, down. And I want a kind of heaviness, the same kind of heaviness that I want in a kind of ikkyo, or in a shihonage, that kind of heaviness in the lower body, and a kind of freedom in the upper body. That's the kind of thing we're looking for here. So, just get some more light. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Okay, good. So we'll just do a little bit of bokkken work. So I'm just going to start with this kind of spinal wave. So you just come here, close the body down, start to activate the legs, open the body up. So you're just going to kind of work front, curl the whole body down, back, open the body out. Just think about closing and curling the body. The bottom, open to the back. And just listen to the body. If you feel anything, kind of tension in the knees, maybe in the neck, just see if you can release it through the movement. Use the breath. And movement's nice and big. Just start to make the movements bigger and bigger, coming more to the ground, touching more of the ground with the hands. Opening the spine out to the back. And down. Just play within this kind of range of motion. That's it. Good. Great. Very good. 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 Nice. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I'm just going to start to work with the ground a little bit. If you've got really cold ground like Petrus, maybe don't do this part, but we'll do it. We'll do nice and quick some bokkken work. So I just want you to go down to a seating position. Just any kind of seiza, seated, cross legs, anything like this, and just play with coming up. Find the base, and just standing up. So nice and easy. Just coming down any way you like. Use the hands as much as you like. Be quite mobile. Come down. Just play a little bit with the body using the legs, mobilizing this whole area. probably not use it so much today, especially if we're kind of sat down, driving on a computer. Let's try and activate this part. And really use the hands as well. So just play with movements up and down, finding the ground. So this is a nice position, but you can also do any kind of cross-legged, kneeling, squatting, these kind of movements. Just explore a little bit. Yeah, good. Very nice. Good. And make sure when you do this, you don't hold the breath at all. So when you come down, you probably find these kind of breathing out as you go. But anything that I can do, which is going to make it softer, make it easier on the body. And just try a few. Also, it's also always a good thing to do things wrong. So also try it like holding your breath. You'll find that the system goes into kind of a stress mode probably quite quickly. But just feel you can do it wrong. And also, if I hold the breath, I can't really talk to you guys at all. So if I hold the breath and I'm talking, and I'm trying to talk to you, I'm trying to give you instructions, it's really difficult for me. I get very kind of out of breath. So it just feels like the body goes into kind of stress mode. So just to see if you can breathe through it. You want to make this as easy as possible. So I'm not looking to stress the system yet. We do that next with active movement. So just go down, make it nice and easy. Also feel that you can come up at any time. So don't always feel you need to go to the ground. You can go down. Everything should be quite loose. And you should always have the choice to kind of come up, come down, move around. You should feel quite mobile. So use the breath. And explore the joint system, especially the lower body, the knees, ankles, feet. So, good. And just explore a little bit more, where you're going to come into positions where the legs are going to be a bit wider, maybe. A little bit more stress in the hips now. And again, just see if you can find positions a little bit animalistic. Just kind of using the hips a bit more flexibly. The key thing to watch out is that the knee joint doesn't go into kind of rotations and crunch against it. So just try and see if you can really use the knee as a hinged joint. I don't want to stress the knee joint at all. Just play a little bit. You might find you go into these kind of stretching positions. This is totally fine. Just play with the limb a little bit. Opening the hips out. Play with the hands, working with the ground. Squat positions. These are all great positions for the body. Again, keep breathing. Sounds a bit obvious, but sometimes we don't. Nice. There we go. That's a nice, Adrian. Nice. Great. Okay, now I just want you to play with not coming back up. So you're going to basically stay low all the time. So imagine there's like you're in like a trench and you don't want to bring the head above the ground. So you don't want to bring the head above the trench instead. You get punched by a sniper. This is a different game. Just imagine you've got a bunker this height and you don't want to pass the head up. So I want you to all the time keep the body down, keep the body low, and just move around. Again, just explore different movement patterns. The probably one you'll find easiest is like if you think like how a monkey moves, which is basically using the hands, using the feet, really in quite a playful way. But just keep all the time now the center low. Center low. Again, keep breathing, but keep moving. You can do slow movements, fast movements, big rotations. You can press more weight into the arms. You just keep kind of low, keep moving. That's it, nice. That's great. Very nice. Great. Well, transformed into kind of monkeys. It's great. Great. Okay, I just want you to explore one thing, but we're not really used to doing it. So if you think about when you come to the body, we're used to kind of keeping the weight on the feet and not so much bringing the weight onto the hand. But if you think about when we do ukemi or this kind of work, we're actually going over onto that place anyway. What we tend to do is smooth that transition out, so we don't hold it in like a handstand kind of cartwheel way. But what we are doing is transferring the weight into the hands and then rolling over with it. So I just want you to explore a little bit, just shifting the weight over a little bit more into the hands. So just play a little bit with like these kind of positions. Also just one hand as well. And just feel what happens in the body. And just move the body around a little bit. Don't worry about keeping low now, so you can kind of come up, because it's a bit more stressful for the body. So you can keep the breath going. But just explore a little bit what happens when I just put one hand down. And feel that you can kind of shift the hand. But in this case, just play again with shifting the weight. And just explore, what you're exploring a little bit now is also the shoulder joint. One of the big problems we've got in Aikido in terms of ukemi work is the shoulder joint kind of getting injured. So this is a way to kind of stress it without being dangerous. So just play with it, coming down, transferring the weight into the hand, and coming back up. That's it. Yeah, good. Yeah, and if you find this pretty easy, also feel that you can also go to the back. You can bring the hand to the back. Again, just feel what happens. What kind of structure do I need to support myself? You can play with this. And just, again, just listen to the shoulder. That. Just play with kind of one hand to the other. Maybe sometimes going on to just one limb. Just one foot, one hand. Yeah, let's play with it. A little bit more stressful. Okay, we're just going to finish with one kind of extreme ukemi exercise. So I'm going to make it quite simple. This starts like this. I'll show you how it goes. We did it the last 2 weeks, but you start in a press-up position. You go down, come back up, and then usually we're kind of going to a forward roll. But for now, just bring the leg through, find a backward roll, down, here, and then just find yourself back up in the press-up. You're just going to come down again, press up, and then take the other leg, over onto the back, roll back up, find the press-up. And you can make this as easy or as hard as you like. So we'll do about 10 each, or I'll do 10, and then we'll kind of go together, but just keep the movement constant. If you want to make it easier, don't do the press-up. So just go to the position, and then just find the roll. Come to the position, the roll. And if you can't, you can do about 10. So press down, roll. If you find yourself into another roll, just follow it. 1, 2, 3. 5. You're gonna keep breathing. 7, 8, 9. Once you've done 10, just come back up to kind of standing. Kind of loosen the body up again. We'll just wait for everyone to finish the set. Good, and just take a bokken. So I kind of a little bit. Great. So that rolling exercise is a really great method to get people back into the center and to tire them out before a class. It's a really good method to get people that are used to using a lot of strength drain the strength away from them, and then you practice. And then this is a really, really great method. And if you find 10 easy, do 20. If you find 20 easy, you just make the roll much more complicated. So if you do this with the forward roll, much, much harder to do so. 20's a good, 20's a killer number, I found. So that's the kind of,
All right.
We'll go to a little bit of bokken work. So we just go straight into the first suburi. So just taking the command forward in the right foot. Just find the back nice and slow and cutting forward the foot. You reach in the back, move the front foot, and you draw it forward. Nice and relaxed. You probably really feel the center now. Right. You're quite heavy. Right. Arms probably feel quite a bit powerless. It's also good. You can use the breath as you do it. Make those movements nice and full. That's it. Great. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Just do a few like this, just really take your time with it. One of the things we tend to rush is like getting back to the cut. So don't see this as like a repetitious practice. Really see it as like one thing. I go back, one, and just hold it 4 or 5 seconds. Really feel where the body's at, and then go again. Really feel where the body's at. Where am I? I really want to be right in the middle of the posture. And I want to be fully engaged through the cut. And then back. So take 4 or 5 seconds, good long pause between the cuts. Really just kind of check the position. And not with the eyes, not with the head, but with your mind. Check the whole position with the body. Where is it at? Just try and sense it. Nice, nice. Nice. Great. Very good. Okay. Good. And in terms of the first suburi, really think about like it's mostly happening here in this space. So if I think about this suburi, it's really about kind of much more down. It's more about the down than the out. So it's not in a sense about the coming out with the body. It's much more in this case about dropping something down. So for us, it's like this, we look at the tiny ankle position. The things like engaging the hip, hands quite heavy, but it's not in a sense like doing this, pushing it out. But just get the sense you're going to come to here and then drop it down. And that's the structure to feel bang, straight down. As if I'm dropping like a heavy weight here, bang, but not that, in that kind of position. So just get the feeling that you're just going to drop it down. If you kind of struggle to get that, just get the feet in a shoulder width apart. Find the back and just drop it down. So I'm not going anywhere with the cut, it's just going to run. It's going to drop, bang, straight at the feet. Da, 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 da. Just get that kind of sense. That's it. And it's really an exercise. This is not a kind of practical cut. So the first suburi is really totally an exercise. So that's it, nice. Okay, great. Nice. And I just want you to play with the left side as well, so feel free to go between the two, right and left side. You do exactly the same thing, but just these slight adjustments with the left side, just to make it fit to the left. Again, find the back and cut it through. Again, look for something quite stable. Find the back, cut it through. And especially on the left side, give yourself time. So really feel where the body is, 4 or 5 seconds, and then go again. Find the back, engage the hip. Maybe just take a few moments. Left, right. And each time just try and get more and more into the middle, more and more relaxed, more and more effective, which is actually about doing less. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing less. So that's the kind of track. But just let it all settle down. Yeah, that's it, nice. And just play with a few on the right, a few on the left, just mix them in. Nice. Very nice. Yes, right. Very nice, very nice. Okay. So Serena asked me, she wanted to look at the Hapo-Giri. So we're going to look at this 8 directional cutting motion. So we just start with the Zengo. So cutting to the front and the back. Just nice and relaxed. We did a little bit this morning. So cutting on the right side and then releasing all the way over, cutting on the left. And in this case, you can keep repeating right side, left side, or you can just keep coming back to the right side. Start again. So do it as you please. And if you feel like you lose the connection as you repeat it, or you lose the concentration, just stop. Come back to the kamae and then go again. So finding the back each time, cutting the right, rotating over, sword goes over the head, and then cutting the left. Again, use the breath as you do it. Just work in 2 directions. Okay, so just in this case, imagine you've got something on the ground. If you can fix a spot on the ground, so something like a cushion, or something like this, and just imagine the center's going to place over the cushion. So what I want to do is each time press the body through the ground here, and then as I rotate, I want the hips to be hanging into the space, and then press it down. What I don't want to do in this case is it's a little bit like we were doing this one. Like I don't want to keep shifting the body around. So this is like a very simplified practice of how to rotate and change direction. Now I want to make it as simple as possible. So in this case, I'm basically going to like keep the same spot with the center. So if you imagine the first cut here, and then the rotation here, and then the cut here, it's all going to happen right at your feet. So don't feel you need to go anywhere with it. Just keep it really as simple as possible. And it's not that the hips don't move. It's that my body's not really moving in space, which is it's a little bit, sometimes they get mixed up, but the hips can move, but just don't think about the body necessarily moving in space. That's it. Yeah, nice. There we go. Great. You want to be like the fixed center. So everything's happening around a fixed point. Yeah, that's it. Got it. There we go, great, nice. Good, so we take it to 4 directions now. So fix a point that you've got like a north, the front, so you go to the front 1, go to the back 2. Now in this case, you're gonna go to the back, so you're gonna rotate towards your own back, and then 3. And then 4 goes back the same, that's number 2. So 2 and 4 are the same. Now 3 is a different kind of cut, so you're going to rotate a bit further. So you're going to go 1 to the front, 2 to the back, and then 3 goes in this direction. So I rotate, cut down, rotate to the back again, cut into 4. And then you've got a choice. You can come back into number 1, or you can just take yourself into a kamae. You just play with these. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back. So there's a kind of technical side to this in terms of you're cutting different angles. So if you look at it, you can say as a simplistic way, I'm cutting 4 directions. So I'm cutting in 4 directions, but I'm doing it in a way where I'm cutting in a way you can translate shiho as 4, but in a kind of in a deeper sense it means like any. So shiho nage means 4 directions. It's actually it's a meaning to say like any direction. You can throw the person in any direction. Shiho giri, yeah, cutting in 4 directions. But you can take it to 8, you can take it to 16, you can take it to whatever number you like. But it's about actually being flexible and the ability to rotate the body and cut in another direction. So I can do this form. You'll probably see this, and this is the way I learned the form originally. Is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a good practice, but in a way, it's quite simple. So in a way, what I want to do is engage the body in a rotation and cut to the back, which is really about flexibility. So much more challenging in terms of body work. So what I want to just focus on, you can do this right side or left side. What I want to focus on is this direction to the back. So this is like the unseen direction. Now I can't in an engagement, if I think about this, turn just to the side and attack. You will walk into something. So what I want to do is the feeling I'm going to rotate out the back and then cut. So this is the movement that Shihonage is kind of designed on from the sword work. So what I want to think about is just this angle. Feels like a kind of dead space. I can't really see it unless I turn to it. That. And as soon as I turn to it, I've been caught out. So what I need to do is sense there's someone there and then rotate the whole body through and turn in another direction. So this train's about flexibility. It's not necessarily at the moment, it doesn't feel like a practical thing. It's not necessarily probably something you would do. But it's about giving you options of flexible footwork options. So just practice this. You can do right side or left side. But just imagine there's someone there, and I go the long way around to do it. You do the left side too. That's where we make the shiho when we do cut number 3. But just think about something behind, and I meet it by rotating through the space. Rotating through the space. That's it. But just play with that motion. Yeah, that's it. And again, I want the center to be really stable. Obviously, I'm rotating, I'm drawing the sword up, everything's challenging that ability to ground. So the more I can spiral my feeling down, the more I'll be able to ground the cut. Yeah, good. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit practical. We'll skip the 8 direction because it's a little bit complicated. So, and we'll probably take the rest of the class to work up some other ground. So, in this case, I'm going to make it really simple. Just imagine someone right behind you. So you're just right side forward. Someone's right behind you. Now, in terms of this posture, I can just do that. I can turn around and that. But what I want to do in this case is go this way, make some space, and then turn, and then engage the hips. So in this case, you're going to step from the back leg. So it's the same movement, but you're going to do it from a different point. So before you were doing this, and now you're going to go in, back foot, turn to the back, engage. This is classic Shihonage work. So just go straight into, if you lose the feeling, go straight to Shihonage. There. Just feel it, you're cutting Shihonage. Great. A really, really simplified Shihonage. That's it. That's it. Great. That's it. I'm a kind of lazy maximalist. I want to get the most out of the training with the little possible energy. So if I do something like this, for me, it feels like I'm kind of doing too much. So what I want you to feel is like, this. I want the technique to happen right here, right in my feet. I don't want to waste my time moving with Shihonage, so I want to pass through and the technique's on. I don't want to kind of mess around too much. So it goes to here, goes in, through, engage. So I want to make it as simple as possible. So try and strip the technique totally of like excess movements. I just want to kamae, I want to rotate through and cut. And I want that all to be one movement. So think about Shihonage, it's like I pass underneath, the technique's already happened by the time the person even realizes. That's it. Yeah, good. And you can do this slow. It's not about speed. It's about like my intention. And the more I can kind of strip the technique away, simplify it, the easier it's going to be to kind of train that feeling. And we can strip away a lot of like excess movement. A lot. Too much. Great. Nice. That's it. Very nice. Great. All right. Good. Again, use the breath. Don't forget to breathe as you do it. Let the cut is a release. It's not a holding. So it's not a kind of. It's a release. So it's something go out. The cut goes out. It's like releasing an arrow. Just goes. Go. That's it. Nice.
What?
Nice. Very nice. Good. And just play a few minutes with making a rotation. You can cut any direction and just feel that you do it every time with a rotation movement. So it can be very narrow or it can be very wide. So just focus on, you can do right side, left side, doesn't actually matter. But just focus on rotating, engaging. And wherever you find yourself, take a few steps, settle the body down again, and just think about, I'll pick a direction before I go, and then I go to it, meet it with the cut. Just start nice and simple. So I pick a direction, go to the back, go. Pick a direction and meet it. You can start right side, left side, it doesn't really matter. Again, try and make it as essential as possible. Pick a direction, decide, and then go. Good. And just really challenge yourself a little bit. So make it wide, make it big. It's a difficult direction. Good. That's it. I'm going to make one restriction on you. So I'm not a big fan of restrictions, but in this case, don't do an overhand like this. So don't go over the top like you would do like in a number 5, because we're going to work on Shihonage. I want you to all the time go underneath the sword. So I want you all the time to work in this way. But this is different from this way. This is more, in a way, this is like a kind of, this is like your Komanuchi work, which is part of the Shihonage work, but just think all the time you're going to pass underneath the sword. Pass underneath the sword. This way. So just try and keep that as the kind of form. Makes it a bit more tricky. Yeah. That's it. Good. Nice. Nice. Great. Okay, so there's another kind of essential element in the Shihonage, which is like the thing I do before the Shihonage. So before you go into the rotation, the twist ups, almost all the time you'll find that you do some kind of slicing movement out. So whether it's like a Yokomenuchi, or it's a Shomenuchi, or it's like a Tatagori, there's always some kind of slice out, and then the Shihonage comes in with the movement. So I'm just going to just kind of isolate this element. We're just going to do one side. So start with the right side forward, just to make it easier. You're going to all the time step with the back left foot, slice out this way. So, and I want you to just make it really clear. You're going to go at a 90-degree angle. So this is the front. I'm going to go right out of the left side, this way. I'm going to go that kind of slice. It goes here, left foot out, slices out this way. And just practice that slice. It might be a bit unfamiliar. And if it is, just think about Shihonage. All these slices you make when you do it in Ikkyo. Yes, but just keeping for now the left side. And that, slice out, that. And just again, find the middle of the posture. So it's a slightly tricky movement. Just see if you can centralize the body as you do it. That's it. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, I want you to find a focus. So for me, I've got this wooden pole in the middle of the room. So I use it as like as a focus for the movements. Now, what's happening a little bit is like this. So I'm losing the focus away. It's going somewhere else. But if I have an original focus point, which is like this, I want to engage that point. So my focus is still on that point here. So that thing isn't moved. If you look at basic technique, when we do static basic technique, that person doesn't really move. I move around them first. So the first movement is an engagement with the person as they are here, and then I move around it, and then I manipulate them out of their own structure. But the first thing is they're not going to move. I need to be the flexible thing. So they're the hard, heavy rock. I need to be the flexible, supple thing. So the first movement is like, that's not going to move. I move. So I make the conscious choice to do that movement. So just see if you can get this feeling. You got something in front, I engage it through that movement, and I keep engaged with it. But I don't leave the encounter to do it. It's also possible, but it goes somewhere else. For Shihonage, this is I'm going to stay engaged basically in this direction. That's it. Yeah. Good. That's it. Got it. Great. Yeah. Nice. That's it. So nice. That's it. Okay, good. Got it. Nice. And you'll probably find this quite tricky. I do anyway, because it's like the body's going one way and it feels like I'm going clang. So it feels like everything's kind of screwing up. Now, if I can access a kind of spiral through the body, that doesn't happen. So if I access a spiral line through the body, bang, straight into the ground, that won't happen. But if I push the sword out, that will happen. So this will happen. So just think about this kind of movement. This from the hips goes out. So it's like this. It's like that. And then you're going to slice it through this way. But just get the feeling that I'm not pushing through the sword. I'm actually doing something out with the body. So again, it's about doing the thing that's essential, which is what's happening in the body, this. And then that follows next. But just get this feeling the sword's actually much more anchored in the body. So it's something, again, a bit more essential. Quite tricky because you're actually going in one direction and you're keeping the focus somewhere else. So totally understandable. We get screwed up. So, yeah. That's it. Exactly. Good. Right. Well, that work makes the next step really easy. So you go into this position, slice out to the left side, and then what I want you to do is the same left foot, pass the line, and turn to the back and cut. So it's just classic Shihonagi, slicing out, keeping the extent, keeping the feeling here, and then roll everything back. At the moment, don't worry about specifics. So the great thing about solo work is I don't really have a partner and I don't really have someone that I'm doing the technique to. So you can just worry about the quality of the movement. The first thing is this, and then the second thing is this. You're now doing two things. First thing, second thing. Let's give that a try. Yeah, good. That's it. Super. So Shihonagi, the origin of Shihonagi, or one of the origins of Shihonagi, is like two people with swords, one in front, one behind. So if I think about this technique, what I'm doing is slicing the person to the front, and then there's someone behind me. So I rotate this way, and I slice them into the head. So this is actually engaging, again, it's about flexibility and engaging multiple people. So really think about, I've got a person here, slice to the front, and then what I'm gonna do is not kind of go this way and disengage, but I'm going to cross back over this way. That's where they don't expect me to go. And then run. You cut the other person that way. So he goes here, there, and then I need to be really flexible. I need to get off the line and cut the other person that way. So just think about kind of two people in the room. You slice one, and then someone behind me. I rotate to meet him. And you can think about cutting them down, or you can just think about meeting them. So I think about also engagement, connection is just about meeting the person fully, turning to the back to fully meet them. So imagine someone calls my name from behind, they go, Michael, they go, what? There, and then I engage them fully. And you can do that with a sword, you can do that with anything.
Michael, question.
Hello?
The grip
No.
you're changing when you're slicing to the left, does it change or do you keep the grip the same?
It pretty much stays the same. So it's quite loose as you go through that movement. So if I'm here, and then here, I'm going to let the arms cross. It goes like that. Okay, so it goes there. Now the hands are soft, but I don't shift them. I don't shift them around the sword. Don't. But they're quite supple. You can also play with just opening that hand out. So the grip itself doesn't change.
So you're not going up and down, but does your grip change left to right slightly?
It loosens, but it doesn't change left to right.
Okay.
So you just play with the grip, and it's basically the more I can connect to the sword. I don't want to feel that the grip is again kind of tightening me up. So if I've got a grip too tight, I'll feel this. Yeah. So I want something that's quite subtle in the grip. So it's quite loose. But just play with it a little bit. Be too tight, be too loose. And then just try and find the middle, right where you're kind of supple. Yeah. That's it. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of atemi work. So based on Shihonagi work, Shihonagi is a great technique for atemi because it's littered with them. There's like 4 or 5 atemi points in it. And when we do the technique normally, we don't do any of them. So it's actually a very interesting technique. It's one of the techniques where all the atemi work got kind of removed, and they still exist in the movement. So what I want you to think about is a shomanuchi. So the first move, if you think about raising the sword, is just coming up with the front hand, like this. Now what I want you to do is the left side of the body, like you did with the sword slicing out, in the same motion, like this, but I'm going to let this hand meet this and slice it down this way. So you're going to do one movement, you're going to go 1 and then 2. Just engage into that movement. So just to get the hand work. Keep the right side only forward. You can do this both sides, but just to make it really easy, because we've got not so much time. Just go right side, right hand forward, right foot, and then left side engages. This slices over the top, and then I cut it down to that way. Okay, so just try this. So you go raise up, shomanuchi, and then cut over to the side. And just again, see if you can access the sword work and the hand work. Pretty easy because you're doing kind of shomanuchi work. So you've got a hand blade to the front, and then slice it out to the side this way. So it's really clear sword work. Let's try it. That's it. And probably easy, you'll find, just keep the right side, right foot forward. And if you get totally lost, go back to the sword. If you get really, really lost, just cry for help, and I'll try and help you. Okay. That's it. Yeah, just think about one thing which is like suppleness. So when we make the transition between sword work and hand work, there needs to be something a bit rounder in the hand work, because I can't use the hands exactly like I use a sword. So if I use the hands like totally like a sword, it doesn't quite fit what the structure of the body is like with the hand work. So the hand work needs to be a bit rounder. So rather than this kind of quality, it's got this kind of quality. So Side Sensei, sometimes you've seen the videos, he would do something like this, and then he would start to open it out. And this kind of stuff. So just feel in this case, you're going to go here, and then rather than something like quite narrow, think about something quite circular. So there's something circular in the movement. It's a kind of wax off. This Miyagi style. This way. And then from here, just find your way into the Shivanagi. So we just practice the form. Goes 1, slides, rotate over, and then step through with the back leg. Find the cut. Now the cut at the end is going to be classic sword work, because I'm in the grip and I'm going to apply the hips through the sword. The difference is I'm really going to use the hips. So this, I'm really going to go, just engage the hips a lot more. I'm in a much more of a squatting position, like this position. So just try the basic technique. It goes like 1, 2, here, over, step through, cut down. Get the movement. That's it. Good. That's it. So good. That's it. Back. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, last movement. So we can do Shianagi like a nage, like a kind of projection, or you can do Shianagi like a control, getting them into the ground. So what I want you to do is feel it. You're going to really take it to the ground. So you're going to go up. This is the same. Over, through, here, and then from this point, what I want to think about is cutting down into the ground. And I want to be really stable in the leg, and in this position. So I really want to be stable in the ground, and I want the feeling of being like a massive mountain, pressing through the ground like this. So just get the sense now. You go 1, 2, 3, and then cut down, right down to the ground. And really feel the hips can be very, very open, but totally stable as well. So nice exercise for the lower body. Also quite a nice pin. You're in quite a nice position for lots of pins. Oh, good. There you go. Just take it as far as you gas it, Adrian. Nice. That's it. Good. Great. Everything down. Yeah, put yourself back up. Okay. What? What was that? Okay, I'll show you the atemi, and then you can apply them as you like. So the first one's actually this one, straight into the head, done, goes to here. Now from here you circle over, take it down, and the first atemi you're going to draw out is actually from this foot. So I've taken the person's structure and they're in this position. Now what you will see really clearly as they're in this position, apart from the ribs being exposed, that comes next, the legs totally exposed. So you actually expose the side of the knee. Now to take the person out without having to go through all the kind of fuss of tying them up and all this kind of stuff, you just kick the leg out from under them. So what I want you to do is like done, out to the side, and then really feel you root into this foot, and then bang, it's a kick to the side. So it's like this. It's quite a light kick. You don't need a lot of pound weight to the knee to break it. So, or to just disable the person. So you can just kind of come and that. This is enough just to kind of disturb the posture. So this is here. Yeah, and then I really want you to feel you plant this foot down. This, and then this foot's really free to snap in, kick, and come back. So you got this motion. This. So it's a really sharp, really short kick, and the person will not see this coming at all. But what this also teaches is how to ground the front leg. So this is a really great atemi, because what it really teaches is how to ground the front leg. This should be really that. And then I can pass through it and find the technique. So this is a really great atemi for multiple reasons, but the main thing is actually training the footwork, the bodywork. We don't often kick in Aikido, but you should always have this ability to do quite a low kick through all the techniques actually, as appropriate. Yeah. Okay, this is the problem. I overcommit the kick, and then I go through. So, and then I get carried away with it. So what I want you to feel is like this, stable, and then come back. So the feeling is like I kick, come back to the ground, and then I'm going to do something else. So just feel that you can go here, you kick, draw back, and now as the person goes into this position, then you go into the elbow. So the elbow comes in. So you go, draw them out of the balance, kick the leg out, draw back, and then the elbow comes in. And the person's really in a bad position, so I can just continue. It's fine. The technique doesn't matter anymore. But the positioning, all this kind of stuff really matters. So you come in now, one, right over, this position, one kick, one elbow, and then you go through the technique, just like that. And there's more atemi in this technique, but we'll just do those two. Just the last few to finish. Nice, good elbow. So we don't often kick in Aikido, we don't often use the elbows, but they're always there in the movements. They're always an option. There we go. Oh! That's it. Yeah, exactly. Great, Adrian. Great. Very nice. But Adrian's great. Great. Okay, last few just really slow and just decide what atemi to put in. So the last few, Saito Sensei, in one video you can see him say, he says the technique can be severe and the throw itself can be very light. So what we do a lot of the time in Aikido is like we get to the end and then I get the shinage and then I force it on. And this is kind of stupid because I would probably have never got to that position in the first place. So I need to soften the person up as I go through the movement, which can be quite severe. And then, this can be very soft. So really feel that you can include whatever atemi you like now, or none. This is why a lot of the atemi were taken out was for fluidity reasons. They kind of catch the movement into being too static. So just think you can go through include any of the atemi, include any else you think are in the technique, Maybe there's some more you can find. And just go through it nice and soft, just the last few. And again, just going back to the structure, nice and solid, nice and heavy. And always with this ability to be able to execute atemi work. So the great thing about our basic techniques is that you don't need to add anything to them. The atemi is just kind of slotted into the position. So it's not about doing anything different. There we go. That's it. Great. Very nice. Very, very nice. And just the last few, just really slow. Take your time with it. Really focus on the center. And really try and engage the feeling of the sword work that we did before. That's it. Good. Very nice. That's it. So hip work, center work, loose upper body, heavy lower body, all this stuff. Yeah, that's it. Great. Okie dokie, that's it. We'll bow out. So if anything is not clear, just feel free to ask me at the end. So, fine. Okay. Hi. Domo. Arigato gozaimasu. Yeah, that's it. A little bit Shienai, a little bit.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Michael. See you
So,
tomorrow.
Michael,
Yeah.
if you do
And
this
you?
from katate,
Yeah.
and then you do a kick the other person, and you are only, I mean, you have not yet grabbed with the other hand, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
because this is otherwise not really possible. And if you don't do that, the other person, they will let go, I would say.
Yeah. Just check that it's a slightly different. One sec. Just trying to spotlight. Yeah. So in this case, in the sense of a katate, if I think about that first move, there's another atemi in the katate, which is also really important, which tend to include quite essential technique. As I come out and I come to this position, the first atemi is actually here, it's to their face. So that's a good kind of response. So I've got this movement, and then from here, the kick, I'm going to take the hand first for sure. So I take the hand first, I get into this position, and then when I've got the person slightly stretched out, then the back foot comes in, bang, and I kick through. So it's this leg, it's not this leg.
Okay.
So if I do that leg, then I'm out of balance. That really won't work. So I come to here, I go, and then I come through, whoa, and then down to that one. So it's always going to come from the back leg. Now for the Shomanuchi, it's a bit different because I don't include that first strike cross. So you've got that one. The other one you've got is like the katate where I slice up first, and then I come out this way, and then you've got another attempt this way. So you've got slice up, roll over, strike to the ribs, kick to the leg, knee to the elbow to the ribs, back, lots of options. All like this.
Don't have to go down anymore.
Yeah, you won't go down. And these are all optional as well, so it's like,
Yes.
however much you need to soften the person.
You need to be sure.
If they're really rigid, it also really helps the atemi work. The more rigid you are, the better the atemi work. Bang! So you get a rigid person and then you bang, hit them in the ribs. There you go, whoa, shit! And then you bang, slam them into the ground.
So meant to be a gentler.
Oh yeah, gentle. You do it with love and care.
Kindness.
See you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow.
Well, thanks a lot. Good.
Hoping to get a
Tomorrow.
chance to actually kick you, hit you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Great. See you soon. Oh, okay. All righty.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Did you do karate in former times?
A little bit. Only a little bit.
Really?
Well,
Because
Also from Lewis as well. So a lot of the
You're
techniques
so
of
good at kicking and doing the atomy. So
karate a little bit, and I came from kickboxing, football. I played football kind of seriously.
okay.
I was just kind of kicking, and then I went to kickboxing, and then I fell into Aikido. So
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
And see you next Wednesday, hopefully.
Yeah,